Hello, everyone, and happy Thursday. This is Loretta Cernowski from Remax Costa del Mar, and welcome to another episode of Connecting Our Continents, the Mexico edition today. My co-host, Ricardo Borquez, called me this afternoon. He's actually on his way to Hermosillo to do his real job as an attorney, so he's busy and sends his regards, and I'll just have to hold up the show without him. So we have a very special guest today, and I know everyone's excited to hear what you have to say. John, my last name's Cernowski, and I think it's pretty easy to say, but I need you to tell me how to say your last name.
Bribiescas.
Bribiescas. See, it's
There you go.
What and what nationality is that?
Mexican.
Is it? I have
Yeah.
not heard that before. Okay.
Yeah.
Tu habla español?
Sí.
Oh, bueno. Okay, well, that's I'm working aprende español, so
Well, that's good.
every time it'll get better. So you have some super exciting project on the go, and I know a lot of people are going to have some questions for you. But in the meantime, can you just provide me sort of an overview of how this came to be, what you're doing now with the flights?
So the way it came to be was the Lukeville port was shut down for a while, and me and my business partner were just talking about going to Rocky Point and the process to get there. You know, you got to drive from Phoenix to Lukeville, which is usually 2.5 to 3 hours. Then you got to get your Mexican insurance. Then you got the wait. Then you got to drive through Sonoida with all the cops and all the corruptness and everything. And then you got that highway that is just always dangerous. People always flying up and down there. And we just thought, like, wouldn't it be easier if you just flew in there? And
Yeah,
my business partners, he's into aviation, and we just started talking, and we came up with an idea. And now we're trying to pursue it, and hopefully it works out for the best.
I hope so too, because I was one of those people when I was coming back to Arizona for the holidays. It took me 9.5 hours to get this from Rocky Point to Scottsdale. It was just grueling. It was grueling. It really was.
We have a lot of, well, not a lot, but we know a couple of people that there's a timeline you have to cross the border. And there's been a couple of people that we know personally that have been stuck and they didn't get a chance to cross. So they had to stay there in the hotel, and how scary it was.
Yeah, so your next investment could be a hotel right by a gas track.
I wish.
Okay, can you tell us about the logistics, the flights? You know, how does it all happen? From where do they come from? Where do they land? Like, if I'm like, John, I want to book a flight, tell me the next step.
I would ask you what's your nearest airport is.
Okay, say I'm in Scottsdale, so I want to come to Rocky Point from Scottsdale.
If you're in Scottsdale, then more likely we would pick you up in Scottsdale at the Scottsdale airport, and then we would fly you to Rocky Point.
Okay.
So we have people. So we're willing to fly to Yuma to pick people up, Tucson, here in the valley, depending on where you're at. We got Chandler, we got the Mesa. So it's really not that hard to do, actually. We just need to know at least a week in advance. We got to know your party, and then we'll set everything up for you guys.
So let's say I'm in Tucson. You're based out of Gilbert, correct?
Yes.
So you fly to Tucson to pick me up. What if it's just me? Is that okay?
That's a good question. John, did you hear that question?
Yeah, so if it's just you, we need to meet a minimum cost. And we plan that out per aircraft. So if it's just you, we would use a smaller aircraft. And yeah, we can do individuals. We can cater accordingly.
And the big question is, can I bring my dog?
Yes, we've been asked that. Yes, you can.
And does my dog have to pay for a seat?
No, he doesn't.
Okay.
We've been asked that multiple times. That's funny. Yeah.
You know, the people in Rocky Point, we love our dogs.
Yes, you do.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about the aircraft that you because you have more than one.
John, do you want to go over the aircrafts? That's more your category.
Yeah, so we have multiple aircraft. The main ones that we use for the charter is Cessna Caravan, which is very economical. And that one, we can do up to 16 people. Then we have a Gulfstream 650 that is more luxurious. We have a Cessna Citation. And then we're looking at doing a door-to-door service with the helicopter. And we have a Sikorsky S-76 helicopter for that.
The helicopter, that's awesome. John, afterwards you can send me pictures of these and I'll put them in the recording and I'll put them on Facebook so people can actually see what the planes are.
Okay.
Maybe this week you can give me a tour if you're busy tomorrow so I can see what they're like.
That'd be great.
Okay, so you got 3 planes to choose from. So now you come and pick me up in Tucson. Do I need any kind of special paperwork or what's the deal with that?
You're going to need a passport.
Okay, you definitely have to have a passport. Driver's license doesn't cut it?
No, you need a passport to fly.
Okay.
Because you're going international.
Okay.
I was under your assumption because when you drive, you need a driver's license and you could also use your birth certificate works when you're driving.
Yeah.
So we looked into it and birth certificate does not work when you're flying internationally. You do need a passport.
Well, I always say it's better to get a passport. It's just,
it's easier and safer.
It's a changing world, and I think it's just better to have one for many reasons. Okay, so you pick me up. I got my passport and my dog. I get in the plane, and from Phoenix and from Tucson, what's our flying time?
Do you mean to Rocky Point from Tucson?
Yeah.
From Tucson, I believe it's 40 minutes, and I believe from Phoenix it's 50 minutes.
Okay.
We put an hour for buffer time just in case anything.
Sure.
Like we have to wait to take off or something, so we put an hour. But it should be at the most. It should be an hour.
So when I get to the airport, then do I have to wait there? I know I have to go through customs there, right?
Yes. When you get there, we'll have somebody there. If you want, we'll park your vehicle and then somebody will walk you through everything. You have to fill out a form out for us. And on that form, you're going to sign that you're not taking no ammo, no gun, no explosives, no narcotics.
Okay.
Also on that form, you're going to tell us if you wish to have an alcoholic beverage, if you want a snack, and we'll have that already provided for you.
You mean I could have a glass of wine on the plane?
Yes, you can.
Sold.
Our job is to make this flight as most pleasurable as possible for you.
Okay, you said something about you'll have the car ready. What is that? What do you mean by that?
We'll park your car if you want.
Oh, I see.
So we'll have somebody waiting for you. So if you don't want to deal with the parking and all that.
You mean in Rocky Point?
No. In Tucson or forever, you're going to be at.
Okay, gotcha.
We'll have somebody there.
Okay. What about when I get there and I go through customs and everything? How do I get to my condo at Las Palomas?
John, do you want to answer that, or should I try to elaborate on that? That is still in the process. Or should I? That is still in the process.
What was the question?
About when they get to Rocky Point, when we land, how do they get transportation?
Yeah. So I'm working with somebody right now for rental cars and also personal car service. So when you get to Rocky Point, it'll be very similar to leaving the U.S. So, like, let's say you drive to our airport, Falcon Field. We have a hangar in Falcon Field. So when you get to Falcon Field, you drive right out to the airplane. We walk you up to the aircraft, check you in, basically look at your driver's license, and then get you seated. Then once you're there, we put all the luggage in the aircraft, and we take your vehicle and park it in our hangar where it's out of the sun and the weather, and it's secure in the hangar. So in Rocky Point, you arrive at Rocky Point, we have a car service that comes right out to you, right out to the airplane, take the luggage, put it in the car, and then take you inside the airport where you meet with customs, and they basically will look at your passport, clear you into Rocky Point, and then you hop in the car and go to where you're going to go. Or we either have the car service take you to your resort, or you have a rental car, whichever one you prefer.
Okay, so we have a question. Julie said, do you fly out of Phoenix International?
Yeah, we fly out of every airport, whatever's most convenient for you. If you want Phoenix International, we can pick you up there. Any airport within Arizona. For the most part, it's like most people so far have wanted, have inquired like out of Tucson and the Phoenix area. But yeah, if somebody's at Lake Havasu, we can go up there, pick you up, and fly you straight there.
Okay, so she asked if we have a list of airports that you fly out of. So it's basically anyone in Arizona is fine, right?
Yes.
Yeah, we can transition in the aircraft pretty much, anywhere. Which makes it, that's part of the convenience. If somebody is driving from Flagstaff, it's a 10-minute flight for us, but it's a 3-hour drive for them.
Yeah.
So it makes more sense for us just to go up to Flagstaff, meet you up there, and it's the same service, we can park your car, you load up in the aircraft, we load your luggage, we'll go park your car for you and hop in the airplane and head on out. Makes your trip much more enjoyable.
Okay, Chris has a question, which I thought this question would be coming a lot sooner, but and I'm sure there's different answers for this, but he wants to know what the charter costs out of a Goodyear airport would be. And I'm sure that depends on how many people, which plane, but I'll let you guys tackle that one.
So the question was, how much does it cost?
Out of Goodyear.
Out of Goodyear.
Oh, out of Goodyear. It would be so that's the general cost for Phoenix is the $400 per person.
Okay.
Each way.
And we'll just clarify that that's return, correct?
It's $400.
Sorry?
It's $800 round trip.
800. Okay, 400 per person. 800 return.
Yeah, 400 to get there, 400 back, 800 total.
Okay. And Cindy wants to know, what is the name of your company?
KIA.
KIA. Okay. Okay. So, I know you talked about that you have different planes. So is there different costs per person depending on whatever plane you choose? And Chris, say if he has 6 to 8 people, is there a different price than per person?
So we will determine which aircraft based on the number of people. Like the Gulfstream costs us a lot more money to operate. So therefore, we use the Gulfstream when there's more people versus the Caravan. The luxury between all the aircraft is very, very similar. So if we have somebody that's coming out of Colorado and there's 17 people or 20 people, something like that, we're going to take the Gulfstream. It's going to be a lot more efficient for us. And the customer is going to enjoy that just as much as they would with the Caravan as far as the luxury and the amenities that they have.
Okay. And Deborah wants to know, how many pieces of luggage are people allowed to take? And does that depend on which plane that you take?
Yeah, that depends a lot on the aircraft, but it's generally 3 pieces of luggage. But if somebody has a family of 5 and they want to use the Caravan, and that's all we have for that trip, then obviously we can accommodate more. A lot of that, as far as the luggage, is going to be based on individual circumstances.
Okay.
If somebody's chartering the whole aircraft versus if they have 17 people going, if they're going to stay for a month or 6 months, or you know what I mean, we can accommodate you.
Okay.
On what your needs are.
Mm-hmm. Great. Is there different pricing for kids, seniors, or something you maybe not thought of yet?
Pricing for those who serve our country, first responders, military, police. I'm not sure. I have to talk to John about senior citizens and so on. So right now it's a pretty basic pricing structure for right this minute. But at the end of the month, we're going to be rolling out the responders and veterans and police and that stuff pricing.
That's fantastic. And is it handicap friendly, wheelchair accessible? Do you know?
Are the airplanes handicap accessible?
Yes, they are. Yeah, we can accommodate. Yes, we can accommodate everyone.
Okay, that's great. What's sort of what you had to go through as far as making this possible? Because I was under the understanding from before that there was lots of red tape and stuff like that. I mean, did you have any trouble being able to fly into the airport?
Did you hear that, John?
No. Are we having trouble getting to and from the airports?
No.
Like logistically, being able to come into Mexico as an American plane, was there any red tape that you had to go through? Was the airport pretty, welcoming to have you guys come?
So every country has their own standards, their own permits, paperwork, fees, and so on. Mexico's just like every other country. So yes, there is red tape to go through, but it's the same as a Mexican aircraft coming to the U.S.
Sure.
You have to get a permit. You have to get trip permits. You have to get all of that. So we have a company that we use for flying international. There's a company we use for Mexico. I've had to use companies when I fly into Canada. So yeah, there's some things that you have to do, but it's not any more than usual, if that makes sense.
Okay. Chris wants to know if it would be more cost effective to charter the whole plane and not per person. So say a group of 17. I know you have like a 16 seater, or is it still $800 round trip per person?
If someone wants to charter the whole aircraft, that is fine. We can do that. We can come to an agreement. So yeah, that's more of like an individual basis. If someone prefers just to have their family on the aircraft, we can accommodate that as well. Yes.
If somebody was to charter the whole plane and fill the whole plane up every seat, yes, there would be a discount.
Okay. I imagine that you guys will be changing things as this evolves. You'll have different promotions and stuff like that, I'm guessing.
Yeah, we're working with a couple of resorts right now. As soon as we get that into fruition, then we'll start coming out with packages, but that's still in the process. And Las Palomas is one of them.
Chris wants to know if you fly into Cranbrook International, or if you would fly, or are you going to fly into Canada if you had enough interest?
Oh, John, would you think about flying into Canada?
Oh, Canada? Yeah.
Of course. Bring back some good beer.
Yeah, I've flown into Canada many times. So if someone wants to charter and charter the aircraft to fly up there, that's fine.
Okay. That's good. And I guess if someone was coming from Canada or Colorado, or well, I guess let's deal with Canada. If they were coming from Canada, flying into Phoenix, and then wanted to fly to Rocky Point to their place, what kind of steps should they take to make that happen? Would they have to take an Uber to a different airport, or?
So, did you say the question was if they're flying from Canada to Rocky Point?
To Phoenix.
To Phoenix first and then Rocky Point.
Oh, okay. Well, so there's some questions to be asked there. Is it that they're picking someone up or whatnot? It's much easier to go direct from Canada to Rocky Point, which is where the would come in. But if someone wanted to stop in Phoenix for a couple of days and then continue, they just have to go through normal customs. So we would pick them up in Canada, fly them to the closest TSA airport, which would be most likely the Phoenix International. I'm not sure if Scottsdale has one. I think they do for customs. So they have to have their passport or visa. And then we would take them from here to Mexico, and they would go through the same process there.
Okay. How long has your charter service been in business, and where else have you flown? I guess give us a brief overview of your current company.
So the charter company itself has been in business for a couple of years. I've been working in the aviation industry for well over 20 years. I did work with the government. I was a government contractor. But as far as KIA, it's been 2 years. And other places that we've flown, I mean, I've flown, pretty much. As far as the charter company, it's been the California, New Mexico, Colorado, Arizona area, and then Seattle and Canada. So we just started doing this Rocky Point deal here recently.
That's great. Such exciting news. Chris says he's going to plan this for his next guy's trip. He's from Canada. He's a marine mechanic, so he looked at my Jeep last time and he didn't have any tools. So if you're picking him up, make sure he doesn't forget his tools.
That's a deal.
Who are the pilots?
I'm sorry, what was that question?
Who are the pilots?
Who are the pilots?
Who are the pilots?
Yeah.
So I'm one of them. And then we have 4 other pilots. And then I have 2 more that I'm looking at bringing on board. And they're all ATP, so they're airline pilots. They've been flying for Southwest and Delta. They have a lot of hours under their belt. So, yeah, it's exciting.
Cindy, I'm not asking them if they're single, just so you know.
I'm sorry, what was that?
I told her I'm not asking them if they're single.
Oh, yeah.
So tell us about your next steps as far as marketing, and is this going to be like a go forward, or are you just guys trying to see if it's going to work, or you're just going to go in head first and do this?
Well, like I mentioned earlier, we've been talking to a bunch of resorts to try to get packages.
Sure.
Hopefully, our goal is by the beginning of next month to start this. And if this takes off, then obviously we're going to go full board with this. We really believe it's going to work just by all the DMs and text messages we've been getting from people. Just like your guy said right now, like he wants to use us. Everybody keeps telling us the same thing, that they want to use us when they do go on their trip.
Sure.
And we'll see what next month provides. Hopefully it's successful.
Well, you know, everyone's busy, and every minute of your days off counts.
Yes.
You want to have as much beach time as you can. And when you're stuck at the border, you know, waiting 4 hours to get across, it's really frustrating.
I totally agree with you.
So
I know this isn't for everybody, you know, because of the price range and everything, but it's just one of those things. you'll pay for what you value. If you value your time, then you're gonna pay for this. And if it's a bit, you're gonna deal with the border situation. So it's one of those things like, what do you value more?
Gas is not cheap, and time is valuable, like you said. So we have Joe. She missed the first part. Can you reiterate what type of aircraft that you have, guys?
We have a Cessna Caravan, a Cessna Citation Jet, and a Swarovski S-76 helicopter, and also what's the Gulfstream, John?
It's a Gulfstream 650.
650, a Gulfstream 650.
The Gulfstream is the one that holds 16, right? 16.
The Caravan holds 16 people.
The Caravan, okay. Yes. The Gulfstream holds how many people?
Upwards into the 20 people range.
Oh wow!
Okay. Like what you were saying a minute ago. So I have 2 young kids, and we've driven to Rocky Point several times, and this is really kind of struck home when I was doing the math as far as how much time it takes. Because especially with 2 young kids, you're not just going to hop in the car and drive straight through. It's not your typical day. You're going to stop and get food and gas, and then you got to wait in line. The kids have to go to the bathroom. They don't really want to sit very much longer.
Right.
And the trip, by the time you get there, it's like in the evening, and then you got to find food and you got to unload everything. Where with this case, like, it's a little expensive, but at the same time, you get there in about 40 minutes. And it's wheels up to wheels down. Sure. So your travel time is roughly an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. And everybody's not exhausted and frustrated and yelling at each other. It's more of like just such a fun experience.
And you could have a beer on the way there.
Yeah, yes, you can.
Cindy wants to know, where are you based? Where are you guys based out of again?
Gilbert.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Is your plane in Plains in Gilbert, or where's the hangar again?
What was that?
Where are the planes based?
The planes. Where are the planes located at?
Oh, Chandler and Falcon Field.
Falcon. Okay, it is. Okay. If someone comes into Phoenix, is Cutter an option for pickup and drop off?
Cutter.
I don't know what that is.
I don't either. That's a new one to me. Cutter.
Joe, you'll have to reiterate that.
No, you know what that means? Cutter?
What was it? Oh, Cutter Aviation. Yeah, they're an FBO. So we use AvFlight. We have our everything hangar with AvFlight, but Cutter is a good company as well.
Oh, it's a company, Cutter. We use AvFlight.
Okay, so the answer is yes. And then Julie wants to know.
I've used Cutter before. I've also used Cunningham. Cunningham's great as well. But they're usually like, yeah, whatever.
So you've made all those connections, obviously.
Yes.
What resorts are you trying to work out packages with?
Las Palomas, for sure, because the golf course. I'm a golfer, so I got to go with the golf course. Right. Everybody else is kind of like, really, John, anybody else you talk to besides Las Palomas? As far as the resorts?
What's that with Las Palomas?
No, I said, is there any other resort that we've talked to, that you have talked to, besides Las Palomas, about getting a package with? In Rocky Point?
There's 2 resorts that they're building right now. They're really high-end resorts. They're connected to this 3rd one. I forget the name of it off the top of my head. But they're
pardon me?
They're running. I was talking to them, one of the owners. I guess there's 3 people own them, and they're real excited about building a helipad at the other 2 resorts, which is where I was talking to them about the door-to-door, where we can actually, if you have a large property, we can actually take the helicopter to your home, load everything up, and go directly to the resort, and then unload you and your luggage. So that was the door-to-door service, but I forget the name of the resort. But It is, but yeah. So there's 3 resorts right now that I'm talking to, plus the Las Palmas.
So we just got a note from Keith Allen, very good friend of mine. Hello, Keith. He wants you guys to know that Encanto Towers is very interested. Please contact him so he can discuss it with you.
Oh, nice. Thank you.
I can send you his contact information.
Please do that.
Okay, so Chris is bound and determined to get down here from Canada. He wants to know what the cost would be out of Canada to Rocky Point versus Phoenix.
Are you able to put John's phone number, give him John's phone number, and we can definitely contact him and set everything up?
Yeah, she's going to text it to me and stuff, and then we'll get a hold of him either tomorrow or next week. We'll get a hold of him. But we have a question from a guest. He wants to know what the cost would be from Canada to Rocky Point versus Phoenix to Rocky Point.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So the Phoenix to Rocky Point is the cost, the 800 round trip.
Yes.
But if he wants to come directly from Canada, that would be good to talk to him to find out where in Canada he's located, how many people. There's a lot of details that we can discuss with him on a quick phone call.
Okay, I got you. He wants you to give that guy my phone number.
Gotcha. And you guys, for everyone who's watching, afterwards I'll post the phone number and contact information as well as put it in the recording too.
Okay.
So, because it's skip the middleman in Phoenix and leave this -26. So right now in Canada, it's -26 Celsius, you guys.
Oh my God.
Like, you have no idea how cold it is.
Well, that is very stable air, so it actually have a very smooth flight here. That's great.
So Chris's parents, I actually have their place listed at Mayan Lakes. So he wants to know that the Mayan is going to be cooperative with all this too, as far as resorts go. Another resort maybe you could contact.
Okay, the Mayan. Now there's 5 resorts in the play now. So
Annie, she works for you guys or works with you?
That's my fiance.
Okay. She's taking care of all the questions here. So we put up the phone number there for everybody.
I'm sure she is.
520-288-3790 for everyone. And again, I'll put it on the recording and put it on the Facebook page as well. So let's talk about other states. Like, how do you guys plan to, say, California? What's your marketing plan for getting people there? I mean, as a realtor in Rocky Point, it's imperative to my business to grow our town with tourists and people that want to come to Rocky Point to vacation or live. And we're just seeing people from New Mexico and Texas and California that want to come there. How can you promote your business? How are you planning to promote your business to them?
Did you hear that, John?
Yeah.
That's
so far a lot of it's been word of mouth, and then with this Facebook. So I'm not as much of as the marketing person. Annie seems to be doing amazing with that. So I think that's what we'll do. I mean, is just like we came up with a rate from Phoenix. We'll do the same thing for New Mexico and Colorado.
Yeah, I have a suggestion for you guys to actually reach out to the realtors, because we're the ones who get the inquiries about looking in Rocky Point. So if you reach out to the real estate association and provide them information, I think it helps us and it helps you guys too.
Yeah, it's a good idea. Yeah, we'll do that definitely.
Okay. Julie owns that Encanto Towers and would like to offer a PS late to my guests as an option. Not sure what that means. Maybe for her rental. That's probably another good idea.
Yeah, the people that are asking you all this, they're they're owners of certain condos. They're not the general manager like Hector is for Las Palomas, correct?
Well, Keith is.
Oh, Keith is? Okay.
He is, yeah, and I'll get you his information.
Okay.
Chris says you should make a deal with Cranbrook International as they need a destination flight, and I'm sure Rocky Point would blow up if there was a direct. Okay, we'll take your advice, Chris, and I'll get him the information for that. There you go. Admin office. Okay, perfect. That's good. Please do, Chris. You got lots of help here, you guys, from people that are watching, because I think, you know, we all want to see good things happening in Rocky Point. So everyone is very hopeful that this is going to be, you guys are going to be very successful.
That sounds great. Thank you, guys. Appreciate that.
Okay, we got another. Rocky Point thought about what kind of taxi service. So you guys can speak to that again. I know we talked about that taxi service from the airport to their places. You're working on something?
Yeah, John's talking to these guys about getting rental cars. We haven't reached out to a taxi service yet. I guess that could be in the works also. He wants to get, instead of getting a taxi service, he wants to get a service for we have people pick you up and take you to your destination instead of a taxi service.
That would be great. I'm sure, like right now, that you could arrange someone to come and pick you up.
Yeah, we have a lot of people. Like everybody's interested, but nothing's like set in stone yet because we're still trying to like get everything together. And like I said, hopefully by the beginning of next month, we'll be up and running, God willing.
Right. Deborah's building at Encontame, and she said she would definitely use this service.
Okay.
And yes, dogs fly free.
Yeah, everybody and their animals.
That's great, right?
Yes.
What else can you tell us about your service, you guys? Oh, how does one book a ticket and how do they pay for it?
John.
The question about the ticket?
Yeah. How would they book a ticket?
Right now, it's just over the phone, or we can, I'm setting up a website so we can do more of online booking, and then they pay online with their credit card, or
Okay.
I can, like right now I just send a link for payment, but here by the end of the month we'll have our website up and rolling with the online booking as well.
So, and to go more in detail, so right now, let's say somebody wanted to book a flight with us, we'd want to get a deposit, and then we want the rest of the money paid within, I think we agreed on 48 hours of the flight.
And how much is the deposit?
Do we agree on 300?
Yeah, I think it was roughly 50%.
50. And is there like a cancellation insurance or something if someone gets sick?
Yeah, it was 72 hours. If they cancel within 72 hours, we refund their money.
Okay. And just reiterate for people, they have to have a passport to fly.
Yes.
They can take their dog. They can tell you what they want to drink on the plane.
Yes.
What are they not allowed to bring on the plane?
Like I said, we have a form you have to fill out before we get into a contract. And no explosives, no ammunition, no guns, no narcotics. All that's forbidden.
What about like steak and vegetables and skin? What about food? Do you know?
Yeah, no, you cannot bring food and vegetables, like meats and vegetables and stuff like that. That's not allowed to cross. Or animals. If you get a dog or a cat over in Mexico, you can't bring it back to the U.S. without having it go through a quarantine So you can do it, but it has to go through a quarantine period and all of that.
What do you mean? So if I bring my dog from...
No. If you buy a dog over there and want to bring it back, then it's got to go through a quarantine and all that stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Do you guys know what the current rental car options are at the Rocky Point Airport?
I personally don't.
I do have a company. I don't have the information on me right this minute, but I can supply that.
Okay.
But I don't have that with me right this second. But I do have a rental car company and then also a car service in Rocky Point too.
So Julie, she's asking if you have a website because she's never going to remember all this. You are working on a website.
Yeah, he's working on the website.
This will be recorded, and I'll be posting that on Facebook as well as emailing it out. So don't worry. And then once you guys get up and running and get going, we'll have you on again to talk about how it's going.
And if everybody's wondering why my partner is on the phone right now, he's under the weather. We're not sure if he had the flu or COVID. He didn't test, but he's getting better. But that's the reason he's on the phone right now.
Lots of people are sick right now. I know that.
Safety precautions. He sounds way better than he did yesterday. I'll give him that much.
Right.
Yeah.
Is there a limit on how many passengers?
No, because let's say you have 30 passengers, then we'll just book two flights and we'll have it within 10, 15 minutes of each other. So you'll arrive within 15 minutes of your party.
Okay. Are you going to have like scheduled times, or is it going to be customized to the people?
John, you want to answer that question?
What was the question again?
If we're going to have scheduled times or if we're going to have it just customary for our customers.
Oh, both.
Both.
We're going to have both. So if somebody wants to charter the plane and just have it themselves and they need to go by a certain time, they can do that. Otherwise, we also will have like morning flights and afternoon and then evening flights as well.
Okay. That sounds good. How many people does the helicopter hold? How many people could go in the helicopter? I've never been in one. It's something I need to do.
I hope his phone didn't die because he's the one that knows all about these aircrafts.
Or maybe his hot toddy kicked in.
Yeah, I hear that. Hold on, give me a minute.
Is he in Arizona right now, or where is he?
Yeah, he's here in Gilbert. He's home in bed. They got him home. I hope his phone didn't die.
We'll get that question. Do you limit your flights to specific dates of travel during the week?
No, we're open. Like you said, whatever the customer wants. We just want to know at least a week in advance so we can make everything happen.
Is there deadhead charges for extended return flight?
That's something I guess we'll have to post on the website. I don't want to give you an answer that's not right.
Okay. The airport is only open 8 to 5 unless special accommodations are made. So have you talked to them about, different, say if it's after 5, or like John had said something about evening flights. So let's say someone works till 5 and they want to catch a flight out. Are they able to do that still?
That's something that John would be able to answer because he's the one that's been in communication with the airport in Rocky Point.
Okay.
So
hopefully he gets on again.
Yeah, let me try him one more time, see if he answers.
But I guess if they knew ahead of time, the airport that you were coming in, that they would probably stay open. You would think.
After 5 o'clock would be special accommodations. Here he is. Thank God. John. John, are you there?
Keith says he's had clients charter flights, and there are certain hours you can fly in.
They're saying that the airport's open from 8 to 5. If somebody wanted to fly after 5 o'clock, would we be able to do that?
Yeah, it's open 24 hours. You just have to tell them.
Yeah.
To stay late.
Give them.
Okay, so yeah, like they said, that's why we want to know a week in advance to make all the accommodations possible for everything to work out. So
can I call you back in a sec?
Yeah. So yeah, we could do that then. To answer that guy's question, yes, after 5 o'clock we could do that.
And I know maybe you don't know the answer to this yet, but let's say, certain holidays like Easter or Christmas, is the price going to be the same?
That's a good question. That's something we need to talk about.
Well, you have to say yes now, because if you book by Friday for Christmas next year,
yeah, exactly.
Price.
Hopefully we'll have specials by then, and we'll be running full blown. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's the goal.
Yeah, that sounds good. So, do you have sort of a vision of how you want your business to look? Do you have like a 1 year, 5 year plan for this?
Well, we talked about it, and we're thinking about 3 months just to see how it went for 3 months.
Okay.
Because his previous business that he did, like he told you, he was a contractor for the military.
Okay.
And he had a 3-month plan, and it blew up and it doubled. So then from there, he just kept doing it. Hopefully this is the same case. Hopefully we just have so many people going that we just keep expanding.
Yeah, that would be great for sure. You have to dream big. I mean,
yeah,
I definitely think that there's lots of need for it, and there's lots of interest. There's no question about it.
The goal is to have a trip, go to Rocky Point, and when it comes back, it's bringing people both ways. That's the ultimate goal.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, of course. Of course. Okay. So we posted the number. I'll put it up. I'm going to send this out before, and I will, John, maybe you can send me, when you have time, send me pictures of those aircraft that you have, and I'll put them on the page as well, so people can kind of see what they look like.
I'm going to talk to John after we're done with this, and hopefully he's feeling better. And if he is, then maybe tomorrow we could take you in person, since you're here in town.
Sure, that'd be great. And
we could show you them, and you could take pictures, you could do videos or whatever you want.
Go up for a flight, maybe?
Yeah, because he
let me fly for half an hour.
He asked me to fly one time, and I didn't touch the wheel. But if you feel comfortable, then go ahead. Yes, I'll just stay in the back and watch.
That sounds great. Well, we're super excited for your business and wish you all the best.
I thank you so much.
And tell John thanks for being so. I really appreciate that he was feeling terrible and still managed to answer all our questions. And as we get more updates, you guys, we will update you. And next week is tax time in Rocky Point. So we're going to be talking about your property taxes, and the discounts, what discounts you get at what time of the year, and all those fun things. It's one of the things you cannot avoid is taxes. So everyone have a great evening, and we will see you next week.
Thank you.